Hello, hello. Time to time to do the live stream. Got my crafty napper this time. Compliments of Alan Cole. So, introductions. My name is Pat. The channel name is Jack Crafty. I've got over 2,000 videos. I've been doing this for 15 years, but I've been on YouTube for, I don't know, 14 years. Hey, Mike Tufts is here. Tommy Taylor's here. Alan Cole is here. I just uh, I just gave you a referral, Mike Tufts. Someone asked me where to get the hand pads, so hopefully he buys one. Ferdo Joe, yay! Bushy's here. So yeah, I I didn't have a point to do for the thumbnail, so just before the live stream, I knocked this little one out. It's a agate basin type or something like that. It's got translucency to it, but I don't know if I can get this to do it. Yeah, I can't get it. Anyway, Sam is here. Ashia is here. Sal is here. Keith Ricketts made it. Yep. Keith Ricketts is early these days. Every time now. Yeah. Awesome. Hit the likes, everybody. Hit the likes. Yeah. YouTube likes the likes. Yes, it does. I want to make sure this microphone isn't right in front of my mouth. I reviewed my last video and I kept puffing into the microphone. All right, so I've been making videos since 2011, mostly napping, but sometimes I get into primitive skills or archery, right? I'm going to try to get more into stuff other than napping. Eventually, I don't do side projects, but I do offer what I make in my auctions. Every Monday, I have an auction. Mike Mason's here. Alan Cole is here. Yay. I got your shirt on, Alan. I'm going to offer 3 of them in the auction. This one I'm not offering. I'm keeping this one. It's a medium. But I'm going to offer 2 large and 1 medium in the auction. Yeah. And on the back, it has, how do I know? I don't know. It makes me giggle. Yeah. How do I know? I don't know. Yeah. It's fun stuff. This merch stuff. I've never done it before. I'm going to have to start doing it. If I'm going to be a official YouTuber, I got to start doing the merch. Figure out what merch sites allow me to actually have a little store on YouTube, right? This microphone feels like it's going to fall off. Anyways, okay, what are we going to do here? Tommy Taylor's here. Michael Red-Eyed Patriot's here. Martin Hill is here. Good morning from the land down under, Australia. Awesome. Keith says, E-money beats me to the bids, Tommy. Tommy Taylor's here. Try Teespring. Yeah, it seems like Teespring's pretty popular for merch on YouTube. Yeah, I did see that. One of my favorite YouTube channels, I'm not going to mention, but has Teespring. Well, it's one of the firearms channels. He's got Teespring as his store down below. Yeah. Yeah, I can mention whatever I want on this channel or on this. Yeah, on these live streams because I demonetize. I can talk about tobacco and I can talk about all kinds of good stuff. Right? I just don't promote it. Yeah. It upsets my stomach a lot, but not as bad as coffee. But there's differences. If I smoke cigars a lot, I start to get GERD, right? But with coffee, I just get like bad burps. It's not the same as the GERD type stuff that I get with tobacco. With tobacco, it just keeps kind of like hiccuping it. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's forcing me to hiccup. But with coffee, it just irritates me. Mike Mason says, I had a craving for cucumbers the other day, my childhood nemesis. I know I am koshering them with shallots, onions, tomatoes, and vinaigrette. It's black pepper, crushed red pepper flakes. What happened to me? I don't know. You don't like that anymore? Ed Gould says, bought my eyes on you. Tommy Taylor says, all y'all are E-money. Keith, y'all beat me on the auction. Did you get beat on the auction, Tommy? I don't even remember now. It was an easy auction to moderate this time. Yeah, Ferdo Joe Bushy says he likes 2 coffees in the AM. Yeah, I do too. I used to. Now I just take caffeine pills in the morning. Almost as good. As long as I have a soup or something. Yeah. I tried chocolate for a while, unsweetened chocolate, and warmed it up. So unsweetened hot chocolate. But that was starting to irritate me too. I don't know what it is. Ed Gould is E-money. Yes, he's here. Thomas H is here. The nicotine concentrate used in gum or pouches can cause hiccups super bad. Yeah, I tend to get hiccups. Although Alan Cole also sent me some cigars that he hand rolled, and those were excellent. I've still got half of one left. Yeah, but I hurt myself the other day with it. I hurt myself like 4 days ago with this cigar. Was it worth it? I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard thing to say. I mean, it was good, but the after effects, that the gag reflex, especially at night when I'm trying to sleep, I can't do it every day, or even every week sometimes. Let's see here. Mike Mason says, I never liked it before. Let's see. AB is here. What's up? You never miss a live stream now, do you? Fertile Joe or Bushy says, Dunkin' Donuts frozen coffee with a shot of Kahlua. Oh, dang. We have a Dunkin' Donuts just down the street here. I can walk to it in like 5 minutes. It's very, very tempting. I do go there when I get hungry at night because it's the only place open really late. I say really late. They close at like 10. Anyway, I go down there and I buy the omelet bites. Yeah, it's the only thing on the menu I can have. And they're good. Mm-hmm. Friday, says Jesse. Good to see you. Yeah, awesome. Tommy Taylor says, on every one I bid on, if my tractor does well in the auction, I co-signed it to Saturday watch out. Monday, I will be able to play with the big boys. Okay, cool. So you sold something. I guess you sold a tractor. Alrighty. Hot damn. Something getting face snapped. Yeah, tell me what you're face snapping right now, right? People don't know what that is. The new guys, they don't know what face snapping is. What are you talking about? What is that you got? Oh, I got a new sign up too. Harley's not here yet, but it says, oh yeah, if I knew why it happens, I wouldn't do it. Why did you do that? I don't understand it. Can you explain your mentality and tell me why you did that and all that kind of stuff? I don't understand why you did that because I would never do that. And I had to reply, well, I shouldn't have done that either, and I probably messed it up. And if I knew why I messed it up like that, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I can't explain why I do it sometimes. Yeah. But if I knew I shouldn't, then I probably wouldn't. Okay, Patrick, you will need to direct me if you want a milder cigar. I can leave the Ligero out. Yeah, next time, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Although it might not taste that great, but I don't know. Yeah, leave the Ligero out and we'll see. Yeah. It took me a bit last live stream to realize it. Cool nickname, bro. Who's got the cool nickname? Pat, I cooked some rocks, 18 hours at 190 and 8 hours at 450. Cool. Let me know how it turns out. Tommy says, got a tractor in a farm auction on Saturday. Oh, I see. You've got a tractor. Cool. Hey, Harley's here. Smallzilla's here. Was my name mentioned? Yeah, I got your sign up here. I got a new one. It says, if I knew why it happens, then I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's a good sign. Yep. You like the shirt, Jesse? Yeah. Compliments of Alan Cole. I'm going to offer 3 of these in the auction. 2 large and 1 medium. I like it. Merch for the store. Yeah. I'm gonna start doing the merch thing as soon as I figure it out. And I'd like to work with. I'd rather work with one of you guys, but we'll see how. I might just do everything all at once. Jim Main is here. Hey, JF Baird is here. Greetings, everyone. San Antonio, Texas. Yep, I know where that is. I've been there many times. Mike Mason says, Patrick, I want to know them Egyptian hollow base points, how they're hafted. What do you think? Them Egyptian hollow base points? Hafted just like everything else? Yeah. Have you tried drawing a picture of one of those Egyptian hollow base points and then add a shaft to it in the picture? Yeah. They're just hafted on with glue, I think. Just plain glue. They didn't wrap it, except the shaft itself, they would wrap it most likely so to prevent from splitting, but just glue it in. And the long barbs, they come down close to the shaft, but they don't bump into the shaft. So I think they were just hafted on with glue, and that's it. The Egyptians should have some nice glue recipes. Of course, a lot of that was lost, but they mummified the bodies and all that before they had advanced metal technology. So they must have had some kind of really good glue to glue those arrowheads on. I'll let you know how the rock turns out. If no good, they go in the creek. Yep. Or the aquarium. Some people just stick them in the aquariums. That guy. AB says, shot a snake today. First kill with my new bow. Awesome. Sure it is awesome, says Jim Main. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the feedback. I want to know. Brennan says, hey guys. Bushy says, AB, did you cook it up? Cooked up the snake? Let's see. Mike Tuff says, new handle design on a 2 1/4 inch bopper. I'm going to send you a picture. Awesome. Yes. Send a picture and I'll display it here on the screen. Let me just adjust the lighting on my phone so I don't have to fumble around with it when the time comes. Let's see. See, I usually have my screen really bright because I'm old. I'm old and crotchety. I need a really bright screen, but I got to tone it down. And let's see. Display, and then, tone down the brightness to almost nothing. That way it'll show up on the live stream. Let's see. Yeah, Mike Tufts, in case you guys don't know, anybody new on the stream, probably not, probably just the same loyal crew. But if you're new, Mike Tufts got a lot of tools for sale, and he's got boppers and hand pads and all kinds of stuff, and it's on flintnappingtraditions.com. And the flintnappingtraditions.com is Danny's site. And sometimes he shows up in the live stream. Yep. If I seem a little slow tonight, is because I've been dragging my butt all day. Yeah. Oh, I know why. I ate some. I ate some. I'm not supposed to. I ate some French onion dip. Yeah, with some pork rinds and French onion dip, and it did me in this morning. I tried to take naps and I couldn't do it either. Let's see, something in the French onion dip. Yeah, probably everything in the French onion dip. Let's see here. AB says the snake's in the freezer currently. All righty. Bushy says, I shot one about 55 years ago with a bow. Talking about snakes. Smallzilla says, I love the sign change, Patrick. Glad I made them all the same size. I thought about doing that before you made the box. Ha. Yeah, I need to make another box. This one's cardboard. It's just a simple cardboard box. Can you guys can see it better like this. It's got a little light hooked up to the back. So I can turn it off, turn it on. It's got a bunch of plastic inside to kind of dissipate the intense light bulb. Let's see. Ken Winton's here. Uncle Ken's struggling to keep up. I might med out before we're done. The meds are pretty strong, huh? Jim Cooper, hello. Mike Mason says, yeah, the barbs was what got me. Watching Danny Collins, I'd on deed if the barbs were in the batting. I don't get it. Hefting, sorry. We're in the hefting. Yeah, I think a lot of those really intricate and delicate Egyptian barbed arrowheads were not actually used. They were just ceremonial war points. Why would you have a ceremonial war point? Because you think you're all tough and stuff. That's why. Back in the day. Jim Cooper says, spitting up some cedar for some arrows. A friend of mine gave me a nice 4-foot section of the straightest grain I've ever seen. Awesome. Yeah, cedar. I've made, not cedar, I've made Douglas fir arrows that were pretty cool. Douglas fir has a nice smooth texture when you got it finished. Yeah. I think cedar does the same thing. Alan Cole says, hey, Sal, nice ground snake video with the kid. Ground snake video? I didn't see it. Thomas H. asks, what material, if any, would you guess will be the next material to run dry? Similar to how ocean jasper is almost non-existent now. The next material to run dry, as far as people selling it, is going to probably be Armenian obsidian. Yeah. I think that'll run dry because it's so much in demand. And you're not, see, I'm finding that you're not able to get the exact dragon skin Armenian obsidian that we used to, and maybe Polish obsidian. Or no, Polish flint, not obsidian. Polish flint with the bands in it. That stuff overseas is probably going to run dry first because of the demand in that area. There's not that many good spots in Europe, and there's a very quickly growing community of nappers. I have no idea what's going to run dry here in the States. I know that Flint Ridge is getting pretty expensive, but I don't think that's going to run dry anytime soon. That's a good question, actually. Let's see. Ken Winton said, snakes don't taste like chicken. It tastes like newsprint paper. No taste, but it takes a sauce wonderfully. I see. It sounds like frog legs. What do frog legs taste like? Tastes like frogs. People ask me, "Hey, you've had frog legs?" I've had frog legs and alligator. What do they taste like? Well, frog legs taste like frogs, and then alligator tastes like alligator. Yeah, it tastes like what they smell like. Yeah, that's my assessment. Yes, basically anything tastes like what they smell like. Alan says, Danny uploaded his first attempt at a hollow base points. Pretty fun to watch. Looks hard. Yeah, it takes some time to get used to. Jesse says, oh, so the Tufts products are on the Danny Collins site. Yes, awesome. I have only ordered stone so far from Danny. Yeah, all of Mike Tufts stuff is on Danny's site. It's you just look at tools. I think you can click a button and that says tools, and you can get to it. Let's see. Jesse says, the message in those chip dips messes me up. The MSG. Oh, okay, yeah. The MSG in those chip dips. Yeah. Usually that's okay. I'm okay with MSG, but it must have been the dairy in the French onion dip. I don't know. I used to be able to handle dairy really well. Bren says, yeah, Jesse, he has several different kinds of hand flakers, boppers, and ishi sticks and hand pads. Yep. Jim Cooper says, I pinned a mouse to my shop wall with a blowgun once. This was before we had barn cats. That's a good shot. That's for sure. Yeah. I've only shot a mouse inside a house once. And I had a 22 and it had that buckshot. You see those little low velocity 22 rounds with buckshot in them? They have a little clear cap on it and a cute little buckshot in there. Yeah, we were sitting in my mother-in-law's house in the kitchen. They had just gutted part of it, and there was access to the outside. And a mouse came in and it was just wandering. And it went across one. It was either shelf or one of the lower cabinets, and I pegged it. Yeah, with a 22 with buckshot. That's the first time I'd seen a 22 with a little buckshot in it. Let's see here. Brandon says flavorless chicken. Maybe it has the flake consistency of chicken, kind of. I don't know. I have never had snake. I don't know if I mentioned that. Never had it. Jim Cooper says Knife River can be difficult to get. Yeah, Knife River, but the guys that get it, they say there's a lot of it still there. It's just there's not very many people that know where to get it. Yeah. Fertile Joe. Let's see. Gary, are you here? Oh, he's asking for what's the last name? No, my brain's not working today. That French onion dip messed me up. I can't remember any people's names right now. AB says, have you seen anything anywhere specifically about Choctaw arrows I could look up? That's a good question. Let's see. I haven't seen it on the internet. You've probably already searched the entire internet twice. I'm going to see if there's Choctaw. Have you checked the, I can't remember names right now, American Museum of Natural History, AMNH, and then look up, they've got databases and they might have some Choctaw stuff. So American Museum of Natural History, that's the only place online that I think would have something like that. You have to look at their databases, and sometimes it's hard to get to their databases. Okay. The there's Chickasaw and Choctaw in this book, but it's not reliable. Except the bow is not reliable because the bow, it's in a museum and they claim it's Choctaw, but it's not Choctaw. This is some other type of culture. The arrow, however, the arrows, no, these arrows on this side, that's Choctaw in a museum. Now, this book is Encyclopedia of Native American Arrows and Bows, Arrows, and Quivers. I think it's volume 1. Yeah, this is volume 1. This is not how the cover is supposed to look. Let's see. I took the sleeve off, but the Choctaw arrows are in here. There's like 3 pages of them. Okay. This is Choctaw on both sides. Yes, on both sides. These are both Choctaw. And that's a Choctaw bow there. Okay. I don't know if you can take a screenshot. You might say, what are those arrowheads? I don't get it. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. This one I think is a copper, rolled copper. These others are antler. Antler tine, antler tine, antler tine. Okay. Turkey feathers, as far as I know. Yeah. And no, this is the iron. This is a rolled iron point. It's a cone. It's an iron cone. They were trade items. Yeah, because this particular tribe like these cone arrowheads, and the same on the other side. Choctaw, you've got a this is antler tine, and this is antler tine. Okay, what are the shafts made out of? I think these are hardwood, but I think some of the other ones are made out of river cane. Yeah. Either that or they don't shave the nodes down on the shoots. I can't tell from the illustration if these little node areas are just from the plants themselves, like a viburnum, or if it's some kind of cane. But it kind of looks like they're just nodes from branches, like on the viburnum shafts. If you don't shave the nodes on viburnum, they kind of stick out. Let's see if I can show you an example. Okay, let's see. You got examples of viburnum? Yeah, I got examples of all kinds of stuff. Let me just grab the whole batch. I've been experimenting with cold straightening. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff I've been cold straightening. They're all different kinds of wood. Well, there's only 3 different kinds in here. There's alder, buckthorn, viburnum, and silky dogwood. All right, so viburnum, I think this is a viburnum. Yeah, it has nodes in it. I can't see. You can't see. They're not too bad if you leave them in. See, I didn't. All I did was take the bark off, and the nodes aren't too bad. This one's a little more pronounced. See that? The little branches that come out. They're not too bad. But yeah, that's viburnum. I can tell which viburnum because it's a gray bark and not a reddish like the silky dogwood. And I just recently looked up Ishii's, not Ishii, but Utzi's arrows, and he didn't shave down the viburnum nodes on his. So on Utzi's arrows, they still got these bumps like this one. Okay, they might be unfinished. These bumps aren't too bad. I didn't shave these down. I did not shave these down at all, but this is kind of pronounced right there. So I think the Choctaw arrows are probably viburnum because the nodes in the picture look a lot like these. All right, with the silky dogwood and other dogwoods, the nodes are more like they're more recessed. They're not sticking out. I need a one that's shaved so I can show you. This is silky dogwood with just the bark removed, and the nodes are very flat. See that? And they're long. They're not round. See that? Where the branches come out? They're long and recessed. So in the pictures, I think the Choctaw were using viburnum or something that has bulby nodes in it. Okay, where are we going here? Pictures sent, Patrick. Let's see. Where am I? Okay, so let's see. Yes, I'm going to send you one of these. I think you'll like this design better. It feels good in the hand to hold, not slippery. Over and out. All right, so I'm not going to reveal anything to. I need to protect the innocent. I'm not going to reveal anything that endangers the innocent. See that? He's got these copper caps on these big handles. Big copper caps, like 2.25-inch diameters. Yeah. All right, so here you go. So yeah, hopefully that answers that on the Choctaw arrows. Yeah. So it's got 3 pages of Choctaw arrows in this book, Encyclopedia of Native American Bows, Arrows, and Quivers, Volume 1. Yeah, it's kind of expensive these days, Some of the books go out of print. That probably will never go out of print because the guys that published them or wrote them are still alive. Yeah. Okay, where am I here? Hey, Mac Bales is here. I missed your entrance. Let me go back and see what I missed in the chat. Jim Cooper says they call it snake shot sometimes. Those little 22 cartridges with buckshot in them. Okay. Mike Mason says in L.A. at a sushi restaurant, I ordered some fried squid. Guy didn't think I would be down, but served me. I said it was like frog's legs, catfish, and alligator all in one. It was great. Yeah, I actually I bought squid once before and made it myself. But yeah, I like squid. Yep. I just end up frying everything. Let's see. Yeah, let me know if the microphone isn't working. Proto Joe, not buckshot, size 12 bird shot is what you shot it with. Talking about shooting snakes with buckshot. Let's see here. Jesse says Jay was putting baby bird points on his blow darts and shooting them. That was cool. I need to check that out. Keith says they are on the porch, Tommy. Should I set them loose this early? Yeah, hit the like button, or Keith's gonna let go the hounds from hell, right? Let's see. Gary Reed. Yes. I don't know if he's here. Are you here, Gary? Ed Gould says, we used to go play music at the friend's house and take the 22s with birdshot. Usually by a third song, there would be several bats flying around our heads and the fun would begin. Yeah, as long as they don't fly too low. Nowadays, we can just, I was just watching a video on the legality of shooting drones with buckshot. Yeah, you got to be sneaky. But yeah, you got to wait for the drones to get really close. There's laws governing the flights of the drones. You know, if they're high enough up, they're considered aircraft or something like that. I don't know. It's a stupid thing with the drones. I've had drones flying around in my backyard in Texas, but the operator forgot that they were down at the level of the telephone wires and hit one. I saw a very expensive drone go down in the alleyway behind our house. That was good. I said, "Dang, that's an expensive expedition there." But yeah, but that's the last time I saw a drone is when that one happened. I saw a couple before that, but I think what they were doing was just canvassing. I think maybe the city was using it because they went really fast down the alleyway. Let's see. Ed Gould says, did you notice how the narrow shaft was forward on the arrows? That's the way I do them. The narrow part of the shaft is forward. Yeah, I do that too so I can make a big knock on the other end. See, the way I make arrows usually is the fat end is the end where I draw the arrow, and the skinny end is up front. Now, how do you make the weight forward in that case? Because this is light here. What I do is I mark the middle. I mark the middle, not balance it. And then from the middle, I shave it down to where the knock is. I taper it. And then the knock is the area, I leave it bulbous. And then I carve it. Okay. But I shave down this fat part. It takes a while. But it leaves it, it's a barreled, the way I do it is a barreled shaft. And the way the Native Americans did it many times was also a barreled shaft. Okay. With the way it grows, with this part facing the sky, is supposedly among many tribes the part that goes first when you shoot it. The part that was near the sky goes first. Not all of them did it that way because I've seen some arrows the other way where they actually fit a foreshaft into the fat part. And they either have a little tiny knock on here or they insert a wood plug. Or I think maybe some of them would just split the wood and pry it apart, a little wedge or something, and then wrap it. But that's speculation. I think what they did mainly was just cut a small little knock in there because it's a pinch grip anyway. I've seen it done both ways, but most of the time it's the part that grows up toward the sky is the first part. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to fly. Anyways, I don't know how to explain it. I googled Choctaw arrows and found several articles on arrows. Yeah, the internet's full of articles on stuff like that. Not all of them are up to date though. Alan Cole says, "AB, my baby is a Chippewa. She's one of a kind." Keith says, "Smack the like button, guys." Let's see. Thomas H. I have a couple blue macaw feathers I've been saving. I need to make a colorful G10 dart point before it feels worth it to use them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Alan, it pays to have loony neighbors with pet birds. Yeah, who sent me? Somebody sent me some macaw feathers, too. I got them sitting on my shelf in the shop. Nice blue and green feathers. Noah Merritt is here. Hello, hello. You made it. Jeffrey Jin is here. AB says, I found the books. I got them saved on Amazon now. I found the books. I got them saved on Amazon now. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Richard Nunley's here. A little late. That's okay. We still got, let's see, hour and a half. Let's see. Jesse says, my Buffalo River I got is awesome. Almost too good. Overshot the side off 3 bifaces, either hitting too hard or setting up isolated platforms too low. Hitting too hard, yeah. Heat treats. Yeah, heat treat is a lot different than raw rock. Yeah. But overshots usually mean you're hitting too hard. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you put the platform low or middle or high, You can still get an overshot with each one. And, it might be easier to overshoot the lower the platform gets. But I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It also depends on the material. And if it's heat treat, yeah, it's kind of delicate. Jeffrey Jim says, hey, Patrick, missed Wednesday, but made it tonight. Yes, yes. Just made it in the house now, said Gary Reed. He just got in. So he's here. We asked about you earlier, Gary. We've been talking about you. Mike Tuff says, Patrick, if you have a store, you're going to need to have your own style of tools to your liking. You're going to need to find a tool maker. Yeah, I can send you some specs. That is true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got my mind working now. It's not working that great tonight. You got to excuse me. I'm probably kind of slow in my speech too. Ed says, you the man. Patrick has the news. Jesse says, dang, thanks, Patrick, for the arrow info. I would have done backwards, but, out the point into the thicker end. I see. Mike says, Jesse, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. If you want to make them like they used to make them, yeah, you use the skinny end first. The skinny end is where the arrowhead goes. But, like I was talking about earlier, I just shaved down the other part. So it becomes a barreled shaft. You can look up barreled arrow shafts to know what I mean, if you don't know what I mean. Mike Mason says, I wonder how the concept of splitting and towing for the knock would affect the archer's paradox. You know what? Especially with Ishii, they didn't know anything about the archer's paradox, or they didn't pay attention to it. Besides, they would cant the bows at a 45-degree angle a lot of times. So even if the arrow did do the paradox thing, it wouldn't matter. Yeah. The reason why it doesn't matter with the Native American style of shooting is because uh, they were shooting instinctively, right? So let's say that the arrow paradox, if it's not adjusted or compensated for exactly, the arrow might strike the bow. But if it does it the same way every time, if you shoot instinctively, your brain adapts to it. So they were all, as far as I know, all the Native American archery was instinctive archery. So the mind adjusts to each thing, and even if it's not made uh, perfect, you adjust to it. Let's see. Mike Mason says, "I'm done, guys. Autocorrect has me beat today. Just tired of it." Yeah, yeah, it can get annoying. Okay, so Alan Cole says, "I sent the macaw feathers from my bird. Text picture incoming. Text picture incoming. I'm not hearing the text notifications. Okay, here we go. Hey, Benjamin. Let's see. I can't zoom in on the pictures. Oh, yeah. That's going to be some nice feathers there. And yes, it's from Alan Cole. You are a real person. There's so much glare. What's up with the glare? There. See that? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I've seen some arrows from Central America that have those feathers on them. They're little tiny arrows. And I was going to mention this in another live stream, but I forgot. Uh, little arrows sometimes are the same size as blowgun darts, right? Or can be made the same size as blowgun darts, and you just shoot them from little bows. And I think that's what they used to do. Uh, so I'll add that to the explanation of where those little arrowheads come from. Uh, I think that they're used on little arrows too. Not only big arrows, full size arrows, but on little arrows. Because I have seen and I have done some research on the Central American and further south, the tropical areas of Central America. I've seen arrows from there that are very small, and they have those uh, colorful feathers on them, but they look the same size as large blowgun darts. Yeah, I'm going to make some of those. Let's see, where did I miss? Mm-hmm. Jim Cooper says Ishii canted his bow in an underhand position. Yes, and not the way we do it, but like that. Like, he canted his bow and shot with his palm up. We normally do it the other way, shoot with the palm down. Let's see. Ask Krakorn is here. Hey. Ed Gould says if you throw just a stick, it goes heavy end first, hence the feathers and the rock in the front. Yeah, it's easy to get forward weight on an arrow if you use the fat end for the front of the arrow. It's much easier to get weight forward, which it shoots very easily. Even if the fletching is not so great, or the aerodynamics of the arrow or the dynamic spine is not good, if it's weight forward, it usually flies pretty good, no matter what your little defects might be. I just don't build them that way. Mm-hmm. Although that's how I used to shoot them. I didn't even like shooting them that way as a kid, but I would make them like that sometimes when I was little. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. People are going to exchange some rocks. Let's see. Tommy Taylor says, I hear you, my autocorrect want me type proto whole name without changing it. I don't get it. Mike says, we as modern men are stickler for the details. Oh, yes, very much so. Yes. It's amazing how much we're sticklers for the details. Yeah. I can talk about arrow finishes and Something just as simple as that, and I'll get lots of comments. No, you don't put that on the arrow for the finish because of blah blah blah. You need a special coating, and you need to do it 3 times. And you sand it in between, and hmm. Okay, I'll just put duck fat on the whole arrow. Sometimes, right? No, I don't think that's right because I don't think the Indians would use that. What did they use? They would use anything except what you say they use. Yeah, okay, I get it. Hmm. I am dumb, but I try to get some of those things right. I wonder if the smaller bows were for children to practice with. No, I don't think so. Why do I think they were not children's bows? Because have you seen what a little boy does with arrows when he gets one with a bow and arrow set? And especially back in the day when you couldn't rush him to the emergency room or rush his sister he might shoot in the face with it to the emergency room? Mm, no. I would not hand my son, if back in the day, or if I had no access to medical care like we do now, and it would be like weeks and weeks of watching him carefully to see if he got an infection from an arrow shot, I would not give him a small bow and arrow set. No, absolutely not. Half the tribe would be without eyeballs, or one of them poked out. Hey, what is that tribe got a bunch of eye patches on them? Oh, that's because they let their kids play with bows and arrows. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's see. Where did I miss? Gary, can you bring some good Onondaga to Letchworth? Yeah, bring some to Letchworth. I think I might go this time. Noah Merritt says the sand bushmen use really small bow and arrows. The arrows are essentially darts as well. They tip them with poison and track their prey. Yeah, I've seen that video. They shot a giraffe with an arrow that was less than 2 feet long, and the tip was metal, and it was just a small little flattened part. It was a metal wire tip with a small flattened part on the end as the tip, and it was diamond shaped. It's a small area, and they dip they made a poison and they coated the entire top of the arrow with poison, and they shot this huge giraffe with it in the hindquarters, and they tracked it for days, and eventually the giraffe got sick from the infection or something happened. Right, he got an infection, got some kind of shock from the poison. What do they call that? That kind of systemic shock. I don't know what they call it, but anyway, they ended up throwing spears and rocks at it to kill it. I mean, it seemed to me a very long, tedious process to kill that big giraffe, but they killed it. Yeah, they ended up throwing rocks and stuff at it in the end, and I said, man, there's got to be a better way. Even back in the day. AB says, I've only ever been able to shoot Ishi style. I just can't do it traditional English style of shooting. Let's see. I've only ever been able to shoot Ishi style. I see. I just can't do traditional English style. Really? Yeah, when I first got serious into archery, it was all traditional English style, flat bow style, American longbow style. I didn't get into the Native American style shooting until later, and I still tend to keep the bow upright. I shoot more accurate when the bow is completely upright instead of canted. I don't know why. To this day, I still like to shoot with the bow perfectly upright. Everyone has their own preferences, right? Let's see. Sal says, my son found me hiding in the garage. See you later. Uh-oh. You've been found. Mike Mason says, not absent of guilt with the politic comment. I also apologize. However, I hate to see anyone isolate over it. New ideas cannot be shared that way. I don't see no political commentary. Jesse says, I still don't understand how the center sections of the fulsums didn't explode upon impact. Sometimes microns thin after the second basal thinning flakes are taken. Yeah, they probably did explode. Yeah. I mean, the ones that we see intact, they may have never been used. Um, there's a lot of snaps. If you look at all of the evidence for fulsum, you see a ton of half fulsums in all the collections. And that means they snap right in the middle. Yeah. And so they do blow up when you shoot them. Now, they don't blow as much. They don't blow up as much if you use them as knives, which I think they probably use a bunch of them as knives, the bigger ones. But the smaller ones, if you look at the collections, if the study is honest, it'll show you all the pieces of the fulsums, and I wouldn't say most, but a lot of the artifacts are halves, and they're just the bases, or just the part that was hafted and glued, and the rest of it broke off. Why they did it that way? Well, they didn't make them all really thin. Like I showed on one of Harley's 3D printed fulsums, the ratio, the width to thickness ratio was 6:1, which is normal for regular arrowheads. So they wouldn't snap all that much. The 1% of the 1% that you're talking about with the microns thinness, they probably were not used for projectiles. And if they were, they would snap right away, like you would imagine. That's my take. Yep, you take my take with a grain of salt. Let's see. What did I miss? Tommy Taylor says, nap us a thin point tonight to watch. Sal? Yeah, Sal. Alan Cole says, later, Sal, I'm looking forward to that tater chip point getting finished. Yeah, me too. I want to see. Gary says, mine is slicker than the Canada Onondaga, but has frost damage. I sent some to Jay Valente, Wilderness Quest Outdoors. He has done a couple of videos using it. Yeah, I'd like to see what you got. Mike Mason says, Sal's son caught a worm snake. They made a short video. It was cool. Okay, I'll see you. I haven't been on Sal's channel in a couple days. Let's see. Anyone else having Jack Crafty napping video withdrawals? Asks Alan Cole, or is it just me? It's probably just you, because you can just do reruns. Yeah. Brian Olson's here. Hello, hello. I sent you a box. You should be there Monday. I got a box, but not from you. I don't want that to sound bad. I did get a box. Who did I get a box from? Let me check my pictures, because I can't remember names at the moment. I got a box. I hope maybe he's on the live stream. Maybe he's not. I got a box from Wayne. Okay. I got your box, Wayne. Oh, I know where. Yeah, I am slow tonight. I got Wayne's box right here. All right. I have not opened it yet. Let's do an unboxing on the live stream. He packed it really well. It's got like 3 little lunchbox packages in there. Right? See that? I haven't opened them up yet. I wonder what's in there. Did you send it to the right guy? Because I don't feel like I deserve these. I already feel like I don't deserve this package, because it's packaged really well. What's in here? Oh, I know what this is from. This is not from one of my subscribers. This is from eBay. Okay? They should write eBay on the package. I'm going to nap some of these insulators. And I got these for cheap because they're chipped. They're not collectible. Okay, that one's chipped. See that? No wonder I felt like I didn't deserve this, because I paid for this. So I'm going to try to nap arrowheads out of these glass insulators, okay? It's a real pain, but it can be done. And I'm going to try to maximize the amount that I can get. It's similar to the plate that I was napping, because it has grooves and indentations on the inside and the outside. All right. But Ishi would nap these, and so would many tribes during that time period where the railroad was just starting to be built in those areas. All right. So I thought that was a subscriber because they didn't put eBay on it. I'm excited about that. So it's coming up. Let's see. Ralph Snyder made it. I'm at my nephew's graduation from Grand Valley State, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Awesome. Anaphylactic shock, says Fertile Joe. Hey, I think that's the correct term, yes. Anaphylactic, something like that. Yes. We're talking about how to kill a giraffe with a dart. It involves anaphylactic shock. Yes, yes. And poison. And Africa. Ed Gould says, Jake started a huge boulder again today. Really? I know what video not to watch. I normally don't do the large points. Yeah. Noah says keeps them at a distance from harming themselves too. Okay, what are we talking about? Let's see. Ralph says he's going to be a school teacher, 5th grade. Awesome. School teacher. Jeffrey Jin says, when all you have is a little bow with little arrows to shoot a giraffe, you have to make doo-doo with what you got. Yeah. Yep. Ellen says, dang, Ralph, sounds like I should have rolled you a few cigars. Yeah, go ahead. Everybody wants some now. Let's see here. I missed more of the chat. Where am I? Brennan says he's also missing the crafty vids. I try not to nap on those days. I'm trying to just do live streams on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then not do any napping during the week, and then leave all my napping for the last minute. That's what I've been trying to do so I can catch up with projects on the side. Yeah. So, and I'm also learning video editing or experimenting with my video software. So I'm trying to not nap during the week very much. So yeah, I apologize for not having many napping videos, but I'm in the process of shifting priorities. Yeah. I did get a lot of projects out of the way. I still got a ton. That's the reason. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be making videos all the time. They're easy as long as I don't have to explain what I do. Yeah. Jesse says Gulf Coast was napping a 100-pound asteroid today. Quite the space peanut. So mega spalls came off. Wow. Is a space peanut some kind of slang for something else? It's I guess for meteorite, but how do you nap a meteorite? Let's see. Ed says, I bet Patrick's finding it hard to keep up during these things. Yeah, during the chats when you guys are chatting amongst each other, I'm looking to see, what did I miss? It turns out I didn't miss too much. Alan says, okay, I'll crawl back under my rock and watch reruns. Yeah, you're going to have to because I'm not going to be doing many videos during the week until I catch up with stuff. Yeah. But I'll try to do a lot of videos on the weekend. Brian Olson says, my box isn't there yet. Couple of days, sir. Yeah. Gary says, cool, live unboxing. Yeah, but it's all just insulators. I bought like 8 of them. Why did you buy 8 of those? You're going to ruin them for posterity. They're supposed to be antiques and all kind of cool stuff. No, I bought a lot because I'm going to need a lot just in case. All right? I'm going to figure out how to break these. So I bought 8 of them. And they're all chipped and damaged. So don't worry. They're not collectible as far as I know. I like chipped stuff. It's too bad. I'm going to destroy them all, okay? Kiowa says, it's like Christmas. Yeah, I bought myself some Christmas. Yep. Jesse says, yeah, I want I want all the leftover spalls of that material. What material? Let's see. Ed says, I got several of the woods for those insulators. Really? The woods? What does that mean? Kaio says, those look like heavy-duty shot glasses. Oh, yeah. AB says, I sent you a picture of a broken spear tip I found when I was 12. Any idea what type of rock it is? Oh, you're asking me for rock identification? You don't know me already? Did you send me a text? I sent you a picture. Okay. Any idea what type of rock this is? It's a nappable type rock. Yeah. See, without knowing your state, your county, and where did you find this? Just out in a field or something, or near the water. Here's the rock that he found. It just looks like a jasper. Okay, just a dark gray or brownish jasper. Is that brown or greenish? If it's got colors in it and it naps like chert, or if it looks like it's well napped, it's a jasper. Okay, what kind of jasper? The nappable kind. All right. Yeah, without knowing your location, I mean, it looks similar to hornstone. AB, I forget where you're from, so I don't know. And you got to also put it up to a light. You got to have it backlit. If you want me to guess what it is, send a picture where it's backlit. Send the side view as well as both sides. So you need to send me 4 pictures minimum. And then I might be able to help you figure out what kind of rock it is. I need to know if it's translucent or not. I need to know if Native Americans were not able to nap it well, if it has a bunch of step fractures in it. That kind of gives me an idea of what type of material it is. If it's nice and smooth and well napped, it may be heat treated. That kind of thing. Mike Tuff says, I have those on a wooden post shaped like electric pole with a birdhouse in the backyard. Let me know if you want any of those. I have plenty of chipped ones. Dang it, I should have made the announcement on one of my videos. But yeah, if you got extra ones of those, let's see. I got a couple different styles of these. Right? They're mostly this style. Right, so they're cracked in the middle too. See that? Let's see. I think they might all be the same style. Yeah, you sent me a lot of packing material I can use. Yeah, they're all basically the same style. I thought I had bought a couple that were not of that style, but see, it's thick glass, so I can make arrowheads out of it. I've seen some that are a little bit bigger, and the glass is not as thick. Alan Cole says, you're just giving me a hard time? Dang it. I don't get it when someone does that. I mean, it goes over my head. So who did you want leftover chips from this material? I can send it to you. Ed Gould says, Georgia Chert was the rock Jake was napping. Okay. Okay, it wasn't a meteorite. It was, it would just look like one. Okay, it was Georgia Chert. All righty. Jesse said Sal was able to remove or sneak up on a big hinge on his point. You could tell he wanted to say, voila, after he did it. He likes when you say that. I like when it works out. I like when I'm able to actually say that because it worked out well. The insulator screw on the top of a piece of wood. Yeah, they do. I have a post in my backyard, in my house in Texas. I have a post an old telegraph post, and it does have a it looks like a dowel type thing on top of the post that you screw these into. Yeah, it's like the end of a broomstick with the threads in it. I know what it is. I'm from Alabama. If that helps. Oh dang, that doesn't help actually. Well, we know it's probably a jasper then. Yeah, and not hornstone. Although I think in Alabama there is Fort Payne shirt, so it might be a variety of Fort Payne shirt. Right? You guys correct me if I'm wrong about Fort Payne. AB says it does have a huge step fracture on the back and it's a little translucent. If it's if a little translucent, it's hard to say. If it's a lot translucent, then we can go straight to chert and flint. But if it's not translucent, it's a jasper, right? If it's partly translucent, is it because it has inclusions in it, or is it because the main material is semi-translucent? Or is it only translucent on the edges, or can you see like cloudy spots throughout? Yeah, because if it's only translucent on the edges, it's probably a jasper, which is a type of chert. What type of chert? I don't know. I'll probably never be able to give you the exact type of chert. Jesse says, and it's probably not heat treated if it has a big step fracture. Jesse says, so on those Sumter insulators, you just use the sides, or can you get a small one out of the domed part? I don't know. It depends on how it breaks. I'm just going to smack it until it breaks, right? And then use the broken parts. And if that doesn't work, I will just nap away everything except for like one area that I'll make into an arrowhead. So one insulator, one arrowhead. But it seems to me to be more practical just to smash it and try to get a bunch of little ones. But if I want to get one big one, it has to be one insulator for one arrowhead, because I'll just nap away everything that's not the arrowhead. And you can't preserve usually the pieces you knock off while you're napping that one arrowhead that you're trying to maximize. Everything else becomes crud flakes. That's why I mentioned during my videos that I don't like maximizing for the biface, because everything you're left with is a bunch of crud flakes, unless you're very careful to spall off usable flakes, which is difficult, especially with new guys. They go, the new guys, they go, I want to preserve as much as I can with a nodule to get the biggest biface possible and arrowhead flakes. Yeah, as big as possible. It seems like I'm in my thought experiment. It works. Yeah, it hardly ever works though. It took me years to figure out on a nodule how to knock off good spalls and still preserve the maximum size for a biface in that leftover area, or what you're left with after spalling a bunch of arrowheads flakes off of that. But it's very difficult. So the recommended procedure is just nap little flakes off of your nodule until you get a biface. So it's like one nodule, one biface, and a bunch of crud flakes. Unfortunately, that's how it goes. If you want to maximize it. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it makes sense, but we're talking about maximizing it for the biggest biface and the biggest point from that nodule that you can get. That's what I mean by maximizing it. Mm-hmm. Mike Tuff says I mostly have number 40 and 60 on the insulators. I guess so. I don't know. I can't see the numbers on these. Is that what you're talking about? Let's see. Let's see. Gary says what you're going to end up with hundreds of the insulators now. Yeah. Let's see. Whoever put the S in fast food is a marketing genius, says Alan. Yeah. because it's without the S, it's fat food. Mike says, I mostly have the number 40 and 60. Looks like a Hemming Gray. Yeah. You know your insulators. This is a let me see. It is a Hemming Gray. Number 9. This is a Hemming Gray number 9. Okay, this one here, you know your insulators, but this one on here is a no, it is also a Hemming Gray number 9. I thought I saw a different number. Hemming Gray number 9. Hemming Gray number 9. Yes. Fertile Joe or Bushy says Randy Owens lives in Fort Payne, Alabama. He might get you some rock. Okay. I don't know Randy Owens. Do I know Randy Owens? I can't remember. Mr. Jim is here. Hello. All right, here. Alan Cole says, you know when Donkey followed Shrek home and just kept talking? That's what it's like having kids. Yeah, in the car especially. It says, you want to save a lot of money? Learn how to do your own dental work. Oh, dang. No, I think I will trust the professionals to that stuff. I just try not to ruin my teeth. Yeah, I'm very protective, even though my teeth are really yellow and have always been yellow. I said, and dentists keep going, hey, we could put like caps on your teeth and make them all white. Yeah, it only, it's not that much. Yeah, we'll help you get insurance to cover it. Yeah, no, that's okay. One of the reasons why I don't want to cover my yellow teeth with those caps, but they're called something else now, is that my mother had that done and they didn't do it right, and she got cavities in her natural teeth underneath the caps, and she suffered for years with that. Yeah, so I don't want that. It's probably not going to happen with me because of today's technology. They'll probably use something else. They're veneers, right? I can put veneers on my teeth, but I don't want to do it. Sasquatch says, hi, what do we do here? We just talk about anything we want, but it's best to talk about napping. Yeah, because we're crafty nappers now. Once I get the merch going, we're all going to be these crafty napper things, people. Yeah, crappy nap. They're going to be crappy napper things with the marbles in our head and marbles that we make. Yeah. Jim Cooper says the key to napping those insulators is to carefully examine each one for flaws and carefully line them up. Okay. Sell them and use the money to buy some black butter. Oh, yeah. But they're all chipped, unfortunately. Yeah. They're all chipped and cracked to various degrees. That's why I got a bunch. I got like 8 of them for less than $30. Was it 8 of them or 9 of them? 3? I got 9 of them. Alan Cole says, Sasquatch, you summon the ginger squatch. Yeah. Veneers. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Veneers for my teeth. I've had many dentists tell me they could do it, because my teeth are so yellow and they've always been yellow my whole life. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Ginger squatch. Did you bring me a ginger snap? No, I don't have no ginger snaps. I did buy some. I bought some bread on sale for the skunks outside because they like munching on bread sometimes. I forgot the ginger snaps. Danny has donkeys that make donkey noises in some of his videos. Danny Collins has donkeys. Let me think. Have I heard those? I haven't heard those on his videos, although I've only watched maybe 3 or 4 all the way through. That's interesting. What else does he have? Brendan says, yeah, he does. He's got donkeys. I think just one, though. Okay. He must have something else that needs protection, right? That can't protect themselves, like sheep. Sheep can't protect themselves, so they usually get a donkey to run around with them, so that the coyotes don't get the sheep and stuff like that. Oh yeah, he was raising game sheep and stuff. Very interesting. I eventually want to raise some animals. I want to raise deer though, right? Yeah. AB says I'm currently going through Invisalign and straighten my teeth, and it feels like Jolly Ranchers are coating my teeth. Hmm. I had braces for 3.5 years when I was a teenager, starting at the age of like 13. I got no, starting probably at 11, no, 12, because I got them off in my junior year in high school, and I had them for 3.5 years. That's how bad my teeth were too. They're not only yellow, but they were extremely crooked. Uh, let's see. Alan Cole says, "Welcome to our ool. Notice there's no P in it. Let's keep it that way." I get it. Welcome to our ool. Notice there's no P. Let's keep it that way. Yeah, I get it. Brandon says, ginormous horns on the game sheep. That'd be interesting. Jordan says, hey, everybody, almost missed it. Yeah, but you're right on time. You're an hour late. Thomas H., did you have to use a headgear? No, they tried to get me to use it, but I said, no, I cannot sleep well. And if you put that on me, I will turn into a nefarious monster. Yeah. No, I refused to wear it. They asked me if I wanted it. I said, no. They said, it's gonna reduce the time you have braces by about a year. I said, I'm not wearing that thing. No, I'm sorry. I needed it, but I didn't wear it. And my jaw is still not in the right place. They said, it's going to fix a lot of stuff for you if you just wear that headgear and every night you put that hockey puck in your mouth. I said, I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Sorry. I have a hard enough time sleeping. Yep. Even back then when I was a kid, I think I still have sleep apnea, although it's not as bad as it used to be, and waking up for no reason. Yeah. Let's see here. Jordan says, I was reading the Oracle and it said all points were refined to drills. Yeah, I find it hard to believe they did it to every point. They didn't. Thomas H says, also going to reduce the amount of friends you have within a year. Yeah, but Jordan, the Oracle is not correct every time. It's like 80% correct. Okay, so you read the Oracle with a grain of salt. Yeah. What's the Oracle? I'm brand new. I don't know nothing except I know whatever you don't know. Okay. Um, where is? Do I have my? I should always have access to the Oracle. This is it. The Overstreet Indian Arrowheads Guide. Okay, this is the 13th edition. I just saw a video where someone was really happy about getting the 15th edition. Yeah. It's out of stock. The latest Overstreet Guide is out of stock in Amazon or Barnes and Noble or both. I can't remember. Maybe it was Barnes and Noble was out of stock. Yeah. You have to go to a specific store now, I guess, to get it. Yeah. AB says, I don't know what to start for dinner. Please help me decide. Burgers or hot wings? Just go with hot wings. Yeah. Jordan says, 80%, you mean 52.6%? Yeah, probably so. 52.6% correct on most of this stuff. Although the Overstreet Guide's not that bad. Yeah. What's 52.6? I don't get it. It's your IQ, man. It's your IQ. Don't worry about it. You worry too much. You worry way too much. Sal has a boat tail grackle bird singing and squawking noises in his videos. So damn funny. Yeah, I remember those days when I had birds and dogs and stuff in the background of my videos. It drove me nuts. In stock, $44.99 for the Overstreet at Barnes and Noble, right? I recommend getting it from Danny Collins' site. It's the 12th edition, but it's half that. It's like $24, not $44. 16th edition, okay, $44.99. In case everyone wants to be up to date, you got to spend some bucks. I don't know if that. I don't even know if that includes shipping. It probably does not. Brutus is here. Hey y'all, it's Friday. Hey, hey, hey. Yep, Friday, and I'm wearing merch. I have an Overstreet book. Not sure what edition. I might sell it. Yeah, I mean, it might as well. Just put it on eBay for $50, and someone might fall for it. Although I don't recommend doing it because it's uh it's dishonest. It's intellectually dishonest. Yeah. Oh, if I sold it for $50, my pocket wouldn't think it's dishonest. Yeah, you can put the cash in your pocket, and your pocket will like it, but I don't know. I don't approve of political jokes. I've seen too many of them get elected, says Alan Cole. Yep, that's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, almost every one of them has been elected. I mean, almost everyone that is elected is a joke. You're right. David says, what is your favorite material and favorite point to make? David Blaylock asks the ultimate question, or the group of questions that are in the subset of my favorites. What's your favorite this? What's your favorite that? Okay. My favorite material has become black buttery obsidian. Okay. My next favorite, what did I say it was? Heat treats, high grade heat treats. Um, Something like that. Anyway, what is my favorite point to make? Okay, other than leaf shaped blades, I like making leaf shaped blades. I like making stuff like this. Simple, right? But I can make knives out of them very easily. I like making knives that look like this. Uh, but that's probably not my favorite point type, right? Something I can name like Castroville or Cahokia, Clovis. What's my favorite point to make? It used to be Edwards. Like in my I have a little icon. Sometimes you can see it at the corner of the screen down below. It's my little logo. I have a Edwards. That used to be my favorite point type to make. Now I don't know if I have a favorite. I don't know. They're all equally a pain in the butt. I liked corner. I liked points that have corner notches. I don't really like the side notches that much or the basal notches. The corner notch point is, in general, that's one of my, well, that's my favorite, right? And variations of the corner notched point. Yeah. Gary says, this is kind of like date night, but only with rock talk. Okay. Brendan says, have a good night, guys. I'm going to watch a couple episodes of TV with my kiddos and have a good night. All righty. Good night. Good night. Mac Bales says, I recently picked up a 15th edition book at Books A Million for $35. Hey, there you go. Books A Million has them. Alan says, I bet Patrick's favorite point to make is the Sweetwater. No. I told you already last week that you will never see me do one of those. No, not even if I get 400 pounds of free rock, because I've been thinking about it. I would use that rock for something else. Oh, yeah. Heck, the Sweetwater biface. That was made by a genius who also was uh, it was made by a genius, right? But also had the patience to sit there and probably make hundreds and hundreds of them. And then once in a while, we'll get lucky to make one that thin. But have you seen some of the Hopewell uh, caches they used to find? There would be stacks and stacks of bifaces. I don't think the Sweetwater biface was a Hopewell, but they did the same thing in many cultures. They would just make lots and lots of bifaces and stash them. And once in a while, one of those bifaces would be super thin, super well made, and then they would keep those and wouldn't use them. I'm thinking because they remained intact, like the Sweetwater biface. But there's some others that are uh, pretty thin as well. Exceptionally lucky to get points like that because I call them luck points because you know that most of the stuff they made wasn't that thin. They just once in a while had the perfect material, the perfect day, the perfect tools, and the perfect attitude and the perfect genius guy. So I don't have any of those. I'm not a perfect genius guy. I never have perfect days. I never have perfect material, and I never have perfect tools. Yeah. So forget it. I am not doing it. Let's see. David says, "Thank you for answering, Patrick." Well, you're welcome. Yeah. It's hard for me to answer what my favorite is. Yeah. I wish it was easy for me to answer that question, but trying to think about what my favorite stuff is, favorite food or favorite anything, is difficult for me. Let's see. Brutus says, "My favorite point is the one that didn't break with the last flake." hmm Are you making lots of powdered points, Brutus? You better be. That helps you make better points later on. The more powdered points you have under your belt, the more successes you'll get. Northern side notch, I think, Patrick Lights. I do like northern side notch. I make a lot of those out of obsidian because they just look cool. But it's not my favorite. Yeah. Ed says, "Yeah, I'm going to lay down. I got what? The hot damn is getting me down. I don't know what that is. Almost afraid to read that." AB says, "I love the corner notch heads for style, but I like the side notch for stability." I see. I see. I see. Gary says, "Hounds are barking. I got to go check them." Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at the likes. We got more likes than viewers now. That's usually the way things go. But by the end of the live stream, we get a lot more likes than viewers. So people come in and out. They go, "Oh no, it's the weird side of YouTube." Oh no. Thomas says Sweetwater Biface was Caddo. Yeah, that's what I heard. I got to see it in the museum just last week. Yeah, I heard the Sweetwater was a Caddo type blade. The Caddo people made a lot of blades. They called them something though. They called them, I don't know, but they were a lot of times serrated as well. Uh, David says, "Patrick, can you help me out and explain or show the tool best suited for notching? I'm having difficulty getting them deep and not breaking off an ear." Well, first of all, everybody has difficulty getting them deep, and everyone breaks off ears. I do it all the time. The uh, the the tool to make notches with, I find to be the easiest, is the spatula tool. However, if you can use the tool that another napper on YouTube uses, Mike Cook, if you can use the tool that he uses, it has excellent results. So look up Mike Cook, Mikecook. And I believe he has a demonstration on at least one of his videos how he uses vertical punch work with a flaker. It's not a punch. He uses it's vertical pressure flaking, not punch work. Vertical pressure flaking uh, with a horseshoe nail and a wooden handle. Okay, I can't do it that way because whenever I try that, I've tried that before. I always end up jabbing the flaker into my pad and I had to pull it out every time, and so it's like every time I do a flake. And after a few minutes, I got all these stab marks in my pad. Okay. And it did make that sound. Yeah. It was a very annoying sound when I was doing it. All right. Let's see. Brutus says, I am indeed. I need a case of super glue. Yeah. Just make powdered points. David says, P.S. I'm using Obsidian. Yeah. The Mike Cook method is excellent. If you can get it to work. Okay. Just try that one. I would just recommend a spatula tool. And I've also got now, I'm using a bird beak tool. But I'm using the bird beak so I can do expanding notches. Patrick's favorite point to make is Edwards point. How do I know? I don't know. It's in my logo. Yes. Frodo Joe says, I put a 2-inch dacite flake in my fishing creel. Next fish I catch will get gutted with it. Ah, there you go. David spatula tool, yes. Martin says, Australian natives loved napping the ceramic telegraph line insulators back in the 1800s. Drove the maintenance men crazy. Yes, that's what I hear. Yep. David says, thank you, Patrick and Alan. I will look Mike up. Yes. Looks like a little flathead screwdriver. Yeah, the tool I use looks like a little flathead screwdriver. And that's what I started napping with. Somebody wanted me to demonstrate how I started napping. I still haven't made that video. Where do I write it so I won't forget? Because I know I've written that down several times and I always forget. Because I never get to see. See, I don't want to write it on something that is like a notepad because I intentionally avoid the notepads. I need to write it on something that I've got. See, I use this. This is a backstop or like when I'm writing notes, like when I'm writing addresses or whatever, I need something that the pen will write nicely on. So let me write it on my pad that I use for writing. Okay. Make video with my original tools. Make video with my original tools. Screwdriver and pliers. What? Screwdriver and pliers? Yeah. Those are my original tools. Besides a hammerstone. Hammerstone, screwdriver and pliers. Screwdriver and pliers. Pliers. Yeah. Okay. I think I can remember that now. Hopefully. How do you make an arrowhead with screwdriver and pliers? I'll give you a little secret. You don't. That's what I don't use them anymore. Let's see. Noah says, I keep a stone multi-tool with my fishing stuff as well. Or in a flake, in other words. Yeah. Gary says, I'm back. I caught a cat in my box trap next to my chicken coop. Dang. I need to get one of those box traps. Yes. Gary says, okay, I read that one already. David says, thank you, Alan. I'm assuming hammered copper flaker. Well, no, I use a hammered steel flaker flattened out. Yeah, I use steel. You can use copper, but steel lasts longer and it helps to make the notches more narrow. Gary, do you ever go to the VFW and Leroy? Peter says, I missed it all. Didn't I? Yeah, you missed it, Peter. We talked about all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this was an in-depth, very technical, very informative live stream. You missed everything. Yeah. Let's see. Alan Cole says, David, yeah, anything but hardened steel, copper, aluminum, mild steel, bronze. Yep, hardened steel does not really work well for knapping tools. Let's see. Noah says it's better than a flake. It's fully worked, has two different style points, and a round side that also has an edge. Oh, okay, there you go. Multi-tool, stone multi-tool, right? Tommy says, Gary, you need one of those great Pyrenees puppies. I have to guard them chickens. Yeah. David says, Alan, thank you, sir. Jesse says, my first napping try was years ago with a copper tube and smashed the ends together flat and a nail and a dowel. Hey, that's better than my tool set. Gary says, I have 5 coonhounds. I can tell by their bark if a critter is out there. Yeah. My dogs would bark in a funny way when there was a squirrel in a tree. They were excellent uh, at spotting squirrels. They would even bark weird if the squirrel was jumping or going across the telephone lines on the other side of the alley. Yeah. So I would get my pellet gun and shoot the squirrel. They were good at that. They were good at catching the squirrel as long as the squirrel was not too feisty when it hit the ground. They were good at catching it. But if the squirrel is feisty, they didn't really they didn't really have the uh, aggressive enough instinct to kill it. This is my last batch of dogs. Yeah, the squirrel had to be pretty disabled before they would be able to kill it. Uh, Peter says I've been making glass bird points today. Awesome. Different colors or one color? Bushy says my first napping flaker was a 5.56 bullet. Really? Full Metal Jacket, I would suppose. Let's see. Green and blue arrowheads. Yeah, good colors. The for me the green works pretty good. The blue kind of sort of good. They do have slight variations, right? The colors. Some of the colors are better than others, I think. Uh, for some reason, the green usually works for me no matter what. But like blue and clear, especially light blue, doesn't work all that well for me usually. But any kind of green usually is good, and the beer bottle brown, as long as it's thick, works pretty good. David says, does it seem to you that the red part of triple flow is brittle and crunchy? I'm finding that flakes don't want to travel from one color to the other. Any tips? Um, that is true in some cases, right? The red part is more brittle. Yeah. The only tips I can think of is you just run large flakes as much as you can and try to get away from too much flakery. I call it flakery, which means too many surface flakes because on obsidian, if it's not consistent, sometimes like with triple flow, if it's got too many flakes already there, the more flakes you try to send in, the more crunchy it starts to get. If it's already kind of smooth from big flakes ahead of time, it works a little bit better, I think. Hope that helps. Rockin' Pops Adventures is here. I'm checking in, Patrick, ready for duty. Yep. Well, you missed everything. We had such an awesome live stream that people went off and said, I will never be the same again. My napping has reached a whole new level. Brutus says, I use the tip of a 3-inch deck gun round as an anvil. Well, dang. Where'd you get that? Ellen says, David, pretty variable. Unfortunately, obsidian is really variable. Practice makes better. Yeah. Always practice. David says, that makes perfect sense. Thank you, sir. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad it makes sense. This is a relatively dark blue. Started off as a big, huge chunk of glass for landscaping. I was working with the debitage. Okay. Yeah, dark blue. That makes really pretty points for sure. Yep. Gary says he missed the door prize drawing. Yeah. We're low tech around here anyway, so you didn't really miss no door prizes. Just all the extremely useful information. Jesse says, I used a brass putter head as a bopper when I misplaced mine. Ha ha ha. I think I mentioned that before. Yep, I remember golf club parts in the last one of the last chats. Brutus says, I got the round while I was in the Navy. You mean you stole it while you was in the Navy? I know you. Yeah, I know guys like you. Yeah. Let's see. Rock and Pop's Adventures. Oh dang, I missed it. Yeah. You missed it. Jordan says, when you described the Buffalo River being crackly, your explanation was spot on. Flakes good, but the flakes always broke in half. Yeah. It's hard to manage. Can you ever manage anything perfectly? That's the thing in flint napping. I've been trying to figure out, is there a way to get good enough to manage the flakes consistently so none of them break and none of them act all weird or go in funny areas or smash in the beginning or crush. There isn't any way to take care of that. I can't find a way. I've been napping for 15 years. And they're going to be like that. They're going to break in half. You're going to crunch them in the beginning. But the more you nap up a certain material, the better it gets. You just need to practice with each type of material. Mm-hmm. David says, I have 15 buckets full. I got lots of practice in my future. Yeah, 15 buckets. I think I only have 15 buckets to my name right now of everything combined that I've got. I did some house cleaning the other day. Threw out a couple of buckets of crud flakes. But yeah, that's a lot of buckets there. I've found that now that I'm more productive, I don't need as many buckets of rocks. But still, like if someone wants me to chase the Sweetwater biface, I'm gonna need like, let's see, 400 pounds is like 5 buckets at least. No, how many buckets equals 400 pounds? I don't know. I can't do math either right now. Let's see. Hey, Rocket Pops, cool stem point you found. Yeah, I think I saw that. Peter says, I napped really well. I think with those, it has more to do with how they pour out and break up the glass. Yeah. Brutus says, no thieving. It was a practice round that already fired. I see. It was on the beach of a target island. It was on the beach of a target island. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I used to have a couple of empty brass from 20 millimeter, from a 20 millimeter cannon. Yeah. I gave it to a friend of mine because he says, hey, those are cool. I need some candlesticks. I need some candle holders. Can I have them? Yeah, you can have them because I've already done looking at them. No thieving is good. Peter says they had all sorts of colors. The only ones I napped really funny were the opaque ones. I still got some opaque glass I need to nap. Now that you reminded me. I'm trying not to nap too much glass until I can figure out a way to deal with all the glass dust because it gets everywhere and it's probably all in my lungs too. So I got to take it easy. The lungs will eventually clear it out, but in my shop, I got a ton of dust. I don't like it everywhere. Ask for Corn says, what did I miss? Everyone was face napping stuff and you missed it. Michigan Flint Napper Spring Napping is this weekend, held at Central Michigan Sportsman Club in Stanton, on Stanton Road. Ross Wellman, thank you for the info. Let's see. This month, Michigan Flint Nappers. What do I got? I got the one from Ludington. Yeah, Central Michigan Sportsman's Club, 4391 East Stanton Road. Coming up April 26th through 27th. You can take a screenshot. All I got is an email for the contact. Usually I have a phone number, but in this case, it's only an email. I got my list. Checking it twice. I don't care who's naughty or nice. Let's see. David says, ask for corn. It's been very informative. I'm glad you think so. Jim says, dinner time. I'm out for now, guys. Catch you later. All right. Catch you later. David says, AFC time with the boys is good stuff, though. What's AFC? Ask for corn? AFC, yeah. Ask for corn. David says, later, Jim. Yep. Yeah. I should do AFC too. It's easier to say than ask for corn. Alrighty. I'm going to put these back in here, the glass insulators, because if I don't, I have a way of making sure that I bump into any glass object within 5 feet. Yep. And guess where it ends up? If it's not on my toe, it ends up on the floor in several pieces. I learned how to do that from my kids. Yeah, they're expert breakers of glass, that's on tables and stuff, or cabinets, or bedrooms, or, nightstands. Wherever there's glasses, they break them. And I learned. Ask for Corn says, of course it was. I didn't develop so much FOMO syndrome by only missing out on boring stuff. Ellen says, what points are on the desk, Patrick? Let's see, or let's serve. What points are on the desk? I don't have no desk. I just have 1 point that I napped earlier because I didn't have one for the thumbnail of the live stream. So I napped this little Georgia chert agate basin or something similar. It was starting to be a Clovis because I'm doing only Clovises. I shouldn't say only, but I'm doing mainly Clovises until I can get all my Clovis back orders filled and put some in the auction that don't work for the specs that I need for my Clovises. Whatever doesn't meet spec goes into the auction. So that's what I'm doing this week. And plus whatever else I can come up with. But it's all random. I can't plan on anything because it doesn't work. Mr. Jim says, hey, Pat, I watched your heat treatment video recently. I hate to ask, but is there an easier way to do this? Yeah, you can go 500 degrees. Here I come. I'm going to do it in my kitchen. I don't care what the other half says. Yeah. Yeah. The easier way to do it is in your kitchen. And if anyone asks any questions, you write it right on the oven. Questions asked will be questions dismissed. Yeah. Hey, Dad, what are you cooking in there? Look, see what it says? Questions asked will be questions dismissed. You are dismissed. And your question, too. But no, there's no easy way to do it. Unless you want to just wing it and then break everything. But just like napping, there's no easy way to do it unless you want to wing it and break everything. Then it's easy. Jordan says, I have a few cases of nice ladle points and bird points. What kind of artifacts do you got? Or best artifact you have that you like to study? Oh, here we go with the favorites again. One of the points that I was very, very happy to have that I've studied a lot is the bottom half of a Golandrina point from Texas. It's a paleo type. It's got the grinding. It's got the perfect flaking. It's even got little bitty tiny serrations on the edge. But it's just a lower half. I got it in a batch of points that I bought from a lady that didn't know what she had. She just put it up on eBay. Says, my husband's collection. I just bagged it up, and he had a bunch of brokes. which were mostly archaic points, but he had that one paleo Golandrina point. It was the bottom half. It's perfect. Perfect example of a Golandrina. That's the one I've studied the most that I have in my collection. Because I wanted to make sure that I knew as much as I could about paleo points, because paleo is so misunderstood and so misrepresented. And there's so much stupid information on paleo on the internet that I had to see for myself. Yeah. Anyway, and I proved that there's so much stupid stuff on the internet with that one. What else? I've got some thin stuff that I can't understand how they did it. And then I have a lot of little bird points. I've always liked the bird points. So my favorite is my collection of little bird points. They call them bird points. For you new guys, they're not used to shoot birds, okay? Let's see. Ask for Corn says, y'all are missing out. The Knapping at Niblets has been the shiblets thus far. Yeah. I've heard good stories about that place. David says, I need to watch the video of strapping down the indirect percussion. My left calf is atrophied from nerve damage. My leg won't hold the rod in place. Yeah, that's actually pretty common that people cannot hold the rod in place under their knee. I'm lucky I've got the biology to do it, so I was able to do it. But yeah, people trying to copy my style have had problems. Just use what I call a Kelly strap. You'll see in the video. You can just type in Jack Crafty Kelly strap, Kelley, Kelly strap. Hey everybody, Bill says, I made it. How's it going tonight? You missed it. Yeah. We got 15 minutes left? You missed all the juicy stuff. Yeah. Mr. Jim says, Pat has all us cooking rocks in our kitchen. I'm going to tell the cops you told me to do it. Yeah. Tell the fire department too. Blame it on me. I saw this guy on YouTube using the oven for this stuff. I don't know why it blew up. I don't know why. It's not my fault. Let's see. Let's see. Bill Taylor just got home from the Glass Buttes. Bushy says, I cooked rocks today. I think I added too many carrots and onions. Yeah, any carrots and onions would be too much. Yeah, but we can mess with the new guys and say, yeah, you need to make sure that the amount of salt is just right. And let's see, Himalayan sea salt on the rocks works best. Yeah, when you heat treat. Sprinkle a little bit of that Himalayan on there. Let's see. You're early, Bill. Still 20 minutes left, says Tommy. Bill says, yeah, I raced home so you can be at the live stream. Oh, dang. I put picture Jasper in the oven before. Worked pretty cool or pretty good before I got a turkey roaster, says Jesse. Yeah. I mean, I've used my oven in the house once, and by coincidence, it was the funny smelling rock, like the petroleum smell. And the kids went, Dad, you're not supposed to cook your tools in there. It's not my tools. It's a rock. Yeah, but it smells just like you put your electrical tools in there or something. It smells weird. They didn't say that, but they just said it smelled weird. And to me, it smelled electrical or petroleum. I don't know. But anyway, it smelled up the house with this weird smell. And that's the last time I did it. The first and last time. Yeah. Let me see. See, Ellen says, oh, dang, Bill, I'm going fishing at the John Day mid-May. Still need to coordinate with you or Brian for a weekend visit. Yeah, see, someone went to the Buttes without you, Alan, and didn't get stuck. Peter says they could be used to shoot birds. The bird points, yeah, that's what you're talking about? Yeah. Could be used. Ralph says, hello, Ross Wellman. Go turkey hunting Wednesday near Grayling, Michigan. Jordan says, probably been answered 52.6 times before, but should one put the rocks in a container if doing them in the oven? Yeah, you should, yes. Put them in a pan. Just a regular aluminum cake pan. You can even buy those cheap aluminum turkey pans. It doesn't matter. What matters is that the rocks don't shift. Well, they shouldn't be shifting, but what can I say about the pan? It's just easier to deal with them when, especially with small flakes, if they're in a pan, so you don't have to pick them out one by one. Yeah, but if you can put them straight on the oven shelf, if you've only got big spalls, I wouldn't worry about the pan. The more simple, the better. Ralph says, Georgia Flint River. Yes, please. Beautiful material. Devin Pinon is here. Hello, hello. Mac Bales asks, anybody ever make stone soup? That'd be good to know. Let's see. Where am I? Hi. Someone said hi to. Okay, everyone says hi to Brutus. And Devin. Say hi to Devin as well. Yeah. Just joined the stream. We only got like 12 minutes left. I'm already starting to wind down. Yeah. Already got it in my head that we got to wind down. I need a spiel to say at the end of every live stream. I need to write one up. Let's see. What was that place that you could get the Overstreet guide for cheap? Because right now the latest edition is like $44.99 or something at Barnes and Noble, but there's a place that has them for $35. I can't remember now. I've eaten tag soup plenty. What's tag soup? Devin says, bye-bye, Mr. Crafty. Okay, we'll see you. Broom is my favorite also. Brooke is my favorite also. Gary says, in my youth, I ate a lot of soup stoned. That's funny. I ate a lot of Burger King when I was in high school hanging around with that crowd, the stoners and stuff. Yeah, Burger King. That's where we went. Why did we go there? Because one of us used to work there. Yeah. But we'd go on his off shift, but he'd order for us because we were just totally out of it. Yeah. That brings back some funny memories. I had to hand him all my money because I couldn't count it. Yeah. Hey, Dave, his name was Dave. Hey, Dave, could you count it for me? I'm useless right now. Yeah, I'll count it. Let's see. Where am I? You guys are chatting about rocks again. Jordan says, thanks for the answers tonight. Forgot to ask Wednesday. Oh, you're welcome. Mr. Jim says, I'll send you a box of rocks from my area in South Texas. Fair warning, it will be a crapshoot as I have less than no idea of what I'm doing. Don't worry. Don't worry so much. I've received rocks from people that think they know what they're doing. And it turns out, I think the rocks knew more than they knew. Yeah. No big deal. Peter says, what type of point would be used to hunt the great auk? Or is it the great elk? What does great auk mean? Books A Million. Yeah, Books A Million has the latest Overstreet guide for a cheap price. The cheapest I've seen so far. Books A Million. Books A Million. Let's see. Ralph says, Michigan trout opener tomorrow. Brook trout and baked beans on the campfire. Sounds good. Ellen says, I remember the days of eating the Whopper. Yeah. That has a double meaning there. Yeah. But we're going to try to keep it family friendly. Let's see. Paleo Ken is here. Hey. Hello there. Sorry for being late to the party. Yeah, we got like 8 minutes, Ken. Dang. You have a keen nose for what is it called? Crashing the party at just the right time because we were just winding down. We were just trying to soak in and let it settle all the information we've been getting for the last hour and 52 minutes. Yeah, it's so much information. We had to take a break and we just had to all calm down and start breathing right because we all were hyperventilating. Yeah. The Great Auk Penguin? Yeah, what is the Great Auk? AUK. What is the Great AUK? Sal says, I told my son to hide and I'll seek. It spent 30 minutes. I haven't seen him. That is too cruel, man. Yeah, say hi to Ken. Ken uses a lot of natural tools. He's one of those guys with a lot more patience than I've got. Okay? Paleo Ken lives up to his name. Go watch his channel. Okay? Paleo Ken is an awesome dude. Alan says, Sal, how's the tater chip part going on part 2? Yeah, how is it going? Excuse me. Jordan says, hilarious, Sal. Tommy says, Sal, post some more thin flaking. I can watch at bedtime. Yeah. Yeah. Sal's posting quite a few videos. So just go over there and watch his videos when I'm not posting, right? One of you guys or a couple of you guys says, I'm having withdrawals. I don't see enough napping videos. Yeah, there's enough out there. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to watch mine, although I appreciate that you are saying that you're in withdrawal symptoms from my videos. What's Ken's channel? I think if you click on his icon, it might take you there. Bushy says, have to get work day at hunting camp tomorrow. What does that mean? Have to get work day. Sal says his handle name is his channel. Yeah, just click on when you click on the icon, it brings you to the channel, right? For the people in the chat, if you click on their little name or icon on that round thing that has a little design in it, click on the design and it'll take it to the channel if he's got one. Sorry if I offend people by using the stupid voice. It's for my self entertainment, and some people like it, but they don't admit it to me if they don't like it. They just start watching something else. Yeah. Ken uses all natural tools. Paleo Ken. Sal says, more stupid voices? I wish. I need to practice up on doing different versions of the stupid voice. I've only got 2 versions, I think. I do the usual one. I do this one all the time because that's what I have in my head. That's my own brain. And then I have a lower one or something. Yeah. I don't know. I used to do imitations of Patrick on SpongeBob. I might start doing that. Yeah, good thing this phlegm didn't act up until the end of the live stream. Let's see. Bill says, I have watched Sal. He naps just like you. You can tell where he learned. Yeah. Yeah. Sal's style is a lot like my style. Yeah, he just got better lighting than I do. Sal says, my credit goes to Patrick. Monkey see, monkey do. No, I appreciate that. Brutus says, Paleo Ken after the YouTube URL. Okay. /@ Paleo Ken after the YouTube URL. Yep. So YouTube, I guess, and then / at PaleoKen. Ralph said, "Hey Sal, how's the blackbirds? Love hearing them in your videos." Yeah, Sal, people like the blackbirds and the grackles in your videos. Alan says, "Bill, Sal is suffering from a blood obsidian deficiency." Yeah, send him some more blood. Send him some more blood obsidian. Yeah. At first, I don't think I read that right when you started mentioning blood obsidian. I was thinking it was having to do with cutting yourself too much. The type of obsidian that makes you bleed, in other words, because there are some obsidians that are very insidious. You can generate really long, sharp shards from some varieties of obsidian quite easily. Isn't the great auk an extinct bird? I don't know. No one's told me what it is. Blades and points says, now I will be bleeding. Sal says he'll be bleeding now. Mm-hmm. Let's see. We still got 33 people watching, and there's like 8 people commenting. So we got lots of lurkers. Yeah. Who are the lurkers? We got like 8 or 9 or 10 regular commenters that participate and help me out. But look at all those lurkers we got. Noah Merritt is lurking. Hey, that was cool. Let me see who else is lurking. You don't have to type or anything. You just hit a symbol and then hit enter. Mike Mason says, "I may be lurking." Yeah, I know you are. Jeff Barrett is. Yeah. Sal says, "I sent you some great rock challenge pieces." Okay, good. Yeah. Rock challenge pieces. Yep. I will continue doing rock challenges. JF Baird is a lurker. Okay, yeah, the great auk penguin is extinct, but you spelled it with AWK. This other time that I saw it, someone mentioned it, it was AUK. So does that mean something else? Is that an abbreviation for something? Noah says, "I lost some blood due to obsidian last night." Yeah, very easy to do. Uh, okay, Sal says there's some funky amoeba shapes that he's sending me. All right, cool. Amoeba is good no matter what shape it is. Yeah, that's my motto. Except that the amoeba that has lots of concrete in the middle. Yeah, we don't want that. But I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know. Hey Sal, have you picked up? Are you the person that picks up all the available flint and chert that nobody wants? Someone's got to do it. I try to do it every time I go. I look in the trash for all the usable flakes. Someone's got to pick up all the stuff everyone's throwing away. Let's see here. Tommy says, "I do some lurking and some interaction. Not good at all at the typing." I see. Sal has some great videos. Yes, he does. And he posts fairly regularly too. So you don't have to go through withdrawal symptoms. Mike Tuff says, "Off subject topic, Knapping, Venom, Storm, Wolverine, Stan Lee. Anybody know? Kingpin, Venom, Storm, Wolverine. What does that mean? Comic book references?" Jordan says, "Well, it's about that time. We'll see you Monday. Have a good weekend, Patrick." Yep, you too. Thank you. It is about that time. It's already past 10 Eastern time. Okay, good night. Yep, everyone say good night. I'm going to end the live stream. I don't have a closing spiel or anything. Someone said, flash the sign. Flash the sign, dude. Flash it. Okay, ready? That signals it's the end of the live stream. Sorry, it's AUK, AUK. See, so someone tell me what that means. All right, everyone's saying good night. Patrick hasn't bought back in 10 years. What is that? Let's see. Everyone says good night. Yep, good night, good night, good night. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. There you go. We got a joke in just in time. All right. We'll see you all next time. Let's see. Today is Friday. Next live stream is Monday. Yeah. Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And it's the auction is at that time also. But it's not a live auction. I just post the video and I declare the winners at 9 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. Same station, same channel. There you go. Good night, everybody, says Mike. Patrick, have a good weekend. I will. You guys have a good weekend. Whoever is attending a nap-in this weekend, have a good time because we need to promote the nap-ins. That's where we're going to have our future. Yeah, the future of rocks and the future of napping. That's what I'm thinking. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.